let's stick weld some stuff. So what we've done is, from back here, where my welder's normally plugged in, we've run out, well, actually that one, we've run out these HTP extension cords. Had to use 4, first joint, second joint, third and fourth. And this is just allowing us to get out here and work easy without me having to move a bunch of stuff out of the way to move the trailer into the building. And then I've got these 15-foot extensions right here on grounded stinger. There's boom, boom, boom. Ground's connected there. Stinger's on the ground over there. You know, it's a little dirty. Of course, you don't want to be running out that much extension cord if you don't have to, but for what it is and for a little addition to my personal trailer, it's good enough. So we'll come up to the machine, and over here on select mode, we're gonna cycle through to we're in stick, set our amperage. We'll start out about 120 amps for these 1/8 of an inch electrodes.
So before we really jump into the welding, a couple points. One, I'm not a professional welder, all right? I'm a fabricator, and I draw the distinction because my job is not to make things that, you know, are going in industry or whatever. I'm making furniture, I'm making signs. Everything we build is super overbuilt. I am not the guy for the technical resources. If you want somebody like that, go check out Peter Ziela's channel. The guy is a mad genius. He can tell you what's wrong with your welder just by listening to the arc over the phone. As far as this trailer, let's go into the process. I picked this up cheap. You can see it's in a little bit of rough shape, but it's good enough for what I need. I needed a big open trailer for when we've got to move things that are awkward or bigger than is convenient with any of my other trailers. This has just kind of been my catch-all move stuff trailer. It had a wooden deck. I wanted to put a nice flat steel deck on it, mostly so I could tack brackets down to it. So I special ordered in a 6 by 20 foot sheet from my local metal yard. That came in eventually. We went and got it. Then we had to cut off 4 feet of that sheet to make it actually fit the trailer. This was also the job that convinced me to get a hand torch for the HTP Microcut 875, because we had to do it with the computer torch and Tommy firing the torch from a distance via the computer. It was crazy. After that, we cleaned everything up and painted one side of the sheet with just whatever half can of paint I had laying around. Eventually, off camera with a bunch of guys, we flipped the sheet over, and that's now the underside of the deck. I just didn't want that rusting against the wood deck that's under there forever. You know, this thing served me well. It's not pretty, but it's functional, and that's what I care about.
It's thin rod, so it's going to burn pretty quick. You got to be ready to see. The thing that's really easy about a machine like this is, you can see I've still got all my MIG stuff set up. I don't have to do a whole bunch of weird changeover or anything. Basically, we just run out here, plug in the stinger, same ground clamp, get right to it, and then when we're done, we'll drag the machine back inside with that whole brand new 30-pound spool that's in it, and then get back to MIG welding. Simple, easy machine.
So I'm not gonna hide my mistakes. I'm not perfect at stick welding. It's not something I do very often, but you know, I have the capability to do it when I need to. I have enough experience to get the job done. I'm not gonna do it in a situation where it's gonna put life or property in danger. You know, this trailer bed's held down in a bunch of different ways. This is just one. I wanted the deck secured at the end of the trailer, so we're gonna get to it. Another thing that's been going on is Mary's been coming by the shop, hanging out, learning. You know, she's doing exactly what you should do if you want to learn a new skill. Find somebody who's willing to let you, you know, look over their shoulder, teach you tricks, be helpful, and you would be surprised how many people are willing to give you their time to teach if you're willing to, you know, just not get in the way or at least be an addition to the shop in some way. It's how I learned most of the skills I have. I hooked up with a tile crew and was the tile bitch running to get mortar and stuff for a couple weeks. But man, I learned how to do tile and it saved me time in other things. Same thing, framing, plumbing, some light electrical. It's a great way to pick up skills, especially when you're young. People out there are always excited to see somebody who wants to improve themselves, and you know, if you can be that person, people will open doors for you. That all said, Mary's got some experience stick welding and was doing fine with it, so this really wasn't too much of a instruction so much as somebody else to help get the job done, which is always great too.
There you go. That was a breaker. Note to self: air compressor, plasma cutter, welder, not all three at the same time.
It's always something, right? Well, get right back into it. Finishing up, we're using 7018 rods here just because all of my other rods are still in nice sealed packs, and I had these little sample packs that I got at some trade show and decided we'd use those up instead of opening up something else that I'd then have to take care of and keep dry and all that. You know, it's going to do the trick just fine. It's probably a little overkill for what is simply welding some 12 gauge to some 1/8 inch angle iron, but I'm okay with that. Once the welding's done, come back in and chip off all of the slag. I choose to do that with a wire brush just because it's fast, and we'll take a look at them.
Alright, so they're not the prettiest, but I'm okay with that. And most importantly, you know, they're attached, which is what I care about. Focus. There you go. Yeah, you know what? That was a nice little butt joint there. The fit up was a lot easier. And then we started to get away from that. So yeah, if you don't like something I just did, feel free to put it in the notes section of a $20 PayPal payment. Until next time, y'all, thanks for stopping by.